Hello, friends in Facebook land. I am here with my friend Nina. She is a fourth grade student in my homeroom class. And we're just hanging out and talking about workshop. And we wanted to talk to you today about the art of imitation and how imitating published authors can help our writing. And I think that a lot of times that we think about when we're thinking about workshop, maybe we think about teaching an isolated skill, maybe a mini lesson or something like that. And then, so we teach the mini lesson, and then we send students off to write about, we're going to model this with a mentor text, and then we're going to send students off to write whatever it is. So a lead or the structure of a sentence, whatever it is that we want, that we have modeled. And I think that's certainly a great place for us to start. But what we want to talk about today is how if we start doing those things with our students and we just do it together, that throughout the year, that when we provide choice and we just make it a little more open-ended, that we start to see some more complicated, some more complex writing and concepts being stolen from other writers. So, for example, voice, kind of gaining that conversational tone in our writing, character motivations, certain elements of plot. And so one thing that you can do to kind of start the year is if you want to start with, something like just sentence structure even. This is Don and Jenny Kilgallen's book. It's pretty amazing. Just it's tough for the kiddos, but you have to just kind of be patient and work through it. And then the other thing that you could read also is, of course, Ruth Combs' The Writing Thief, which I'm sure that anyone who's a writing teacher out there, you've probably read that. So anyway, Nina today is going to share some of her writing, and then we're just going to talk about it a little bit. And Nina, before you share, when did you do this writing in our class? What kind of writing were we doing when you did this?
Well, we were just doing free writing in our writing workshop time, and it just kind of inspired me from all the books that I've read before.
Okay. And were you able to, you heard me talking about stealing from different published authors. Were you able to steal anything that you used in your free writing?
Yeah, I actually stole pretty much a lot of stuff. Well, in this book, The Door in the Lake, I stole how they went camping and how my main character goes missing. I stole the part where they had celebrations and how the main character in this book had weird things going on, and so does this character, and he was hearing voices, so I thought of that, and I was like, you know what, that'd be a good idea to put in here.
Okay. I love that idea. And did you steal anything else from any other books?
Yes, I stole something from this book. I stole pretty much the lead.
Okay.
Because it was talking about how the main character in this book wasn't really it just kind of introduced it, kind of.
Right.
That's what I kind of did here.
Okay, great. Well, can you share a little bit of this for us?
Okay, so it's not that CJ didn't want to go camping. She just doesn't like going camping. So a few years back, when CJ was about 8 years old, she went camping with her family. She went on this huge hike to a campsite and set up finally. One night, she woke up suddenly, feeling the urge to go into the forest. It felt like somebody or something was drawing her or even pulling her towards the forest. It felt like her brain was just mush, and she couldn't remember a thing. The only noise she heard was an eerie, raspy, spine-tingling voice that she could barely make out what it was saying. CJ finally got out of bed. Right as she stood up, she knew she just had to walk into the forest. CJ took one step into the dark forest and completely vanished. After 5 years, CJ came back. Nothing was ever the same. You could tell that she had aged to look like a 13-year-old, and she had the attitude and even knowledge of a 13-year-old. Yet, she felt something missing, even different. She couldn't put her finger on it, but she just knew it. When CJ came back, it was a huge celebration. Rally, parades, and even parties. CJ was excited and all that she was home. People were very excited of her sudden appearance, and they still loved and cared for her, but it all just didn't feel right. She used to like having attention and people knowing her, but now it just felt weird. Everyone would ask CJ what had happened and where she had gone, but she told everyone the same story. I don't really remember, it's all just a blur. But sure enough, CJ knew. She didn't like keeping secrets from people, but this one, she had to, or people would go out looking, hunting, and even trying to kill them. Hopefully one day she could tell people and no one would go out trying to find them. After 1 week, CJ started school back up again. She was in the 7th grade and all of her friends were still there. She had to catch up on some major assignments, but other than that, she didn't have much to catch up on.
Pretty amazing. And I asked Nina to stop right there. She actually has continued this in free writing. One of the things I want to point out that Nina was able to do here is this is just raw material. This is what she's reading for you right now is out of her writer's notebook, and this is from free writing. It's she doesn't have any kind of a plan worked out. She's not trying to figure out what her plot is, what her characters' motivations are, or who they are as people. She's just free writing. But as she's doing so, she's using just elements of workshop where we have emphasized and really worked together on as a class on imitating published authors. And one of the ways she does that is through a blend of what we call Reader's Workshop and Writer's Workshop. I think that eventually we'll kind of evolve to just call it workshop. You've heard before, like, Ralph Fletcher. We've got breathing in and breathing out, that whole concept of reciprocity. And so Nina, let me ask you, how do you feel that reading, just reading whatever you want to read, has helped you in your writing?
I feel like reading what I like best and what interests me helps me in my writing, because then I'm interested in that book and I see different things that I've never thought of writing in mine. So then when I go to write, I can think back on that stuff and write some of that.
Okay, so it helps you as a writing thief, basically, right? To be able to steal these concepts and put them into, kind of make them your own, right? And let me ask you, you and I talked a little bit earlier. Basically, in our classroom, there are two different types of workshop. One type is when we come to the carpet and I do a mini lesson, right? And I say, okay, we're going to work on this skill, and I want everyone to go work on that skill, okay? And so then another type is where you are able to choose everything, right? And you do free writing and kind of like what you did here with this. Which do you think is better as far as just helping you as a writer, and why?
I feel like when we get to choose what we like to write as a writer is better, because you can still teach us small things, but then when you can tell us, we could go back and write what we like, but you can tell us, like, make sure you guys try and use these small strategies in your writing to make it help better, and so you can become better as a writer, then instead of having to go back and writing and taking up more space just to learn one skill that people still might not understand, so they don't know how to write about it.
Do you think you've become a better writer because you were able to choose? What is it that you're doing whenever you're choosing? What are you doing? When you were free writing here, how were you coming up with your ideas?
Well, when you had the ideas up on your board over there, I looked at them and I remembered some of the books I read, like The Indian in the Cupboard and The Door in the Lake, and I thought of sci-fi because that's something that interests me, and I even thought of Door in the Lake because it was kind of a mystery how it all happened.
Right. So you were looking at genres on the board, and you were thinking, okay, so what books have I read that are that genre? And then how can I steal from those published authors? That's really good. Guys, I'm going to leave you with a quote from, it's one of my favorite quotes about workshop. It's Don Graves. Barry Lane quotes him in his book, How Do You Teach Writing? And here it is. It says, author Donald Graves says, if you don't have your elementary students write an hour a day on topics of their own choosing, you are not even teaching writing. We're going to do another video tomorrow with another one of our students from 236B. Thank you so much, Nina, and tell them bye.
Bye.
Thank you.